Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, Cloudcast Media. Going to be listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, nation's longest-running community podcast, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Been doing great things in our San Diego County region for more than 6 decades, whether it's food insecurity, it can be the arts, homelessness, Alzheimer's. They are just heavily involved in so many great causes. We are so pleased to have back in the studio with us today Andy Solar. He's the co-chair of the Invictus Games San Diego 2029. Andy, so good to see you.
Good to see you too, Drew. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're kidding me. The content is great. It's phenomenal. So for those very, very, very few people in our Spotlight on the Community audience that has no clue what the Invictus Games San Diego 2029 is all about, why don't you give them a nickel tour?
Yeah, well, thank you. And most people do know now. Thanks to you for pumping up the word there. So the Invictus Games is a adaptive sport multi-event tournament. It's every 2 years. It was founded by Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, back in 2014. It's every 2 years. The last year it was in Vancouver in 2025. Birmingham in the UK have it next year for 2027. San Diego is now one of 3 cities left in the bidding contest to have it in 2029. We're up against South Korea and we're up against Denmark.
Talk about the footprint of the Invictus Games since Prince Harry had sort of launched this, so to speak, in 2014.
Yeah, he's been very vocal, especially wounded, injured, and sick servicemen and women that give so much for their country. Right. And it doesn't matter which country. The Invictus Games now boasts 25 Invictus nations from all around the world. Particularly, he's been very vocal about his struggles with PTSD, and there's a lot of invisible injuries. Right. But we've also got rehabilitation through sport, and you're talking about amputees, double amputees, wheelchair folks, and it's just that coming together, being with your comrades, getting back up and rehabilitating through sport.
Yes. Did you serve, Andy?
Unfortunately, no, I didn't serve. My father served, and his father served.
Thank you for their service. Yeah.
And I wish I served, because some of these stories are just so awe-inspiring that I can really, it's been. I think I told you the first time we were here. Right. It's been such a humbling experience. It really has seen what these people have gone through, what they've given up, and how far they've come.
Yeah, I think I might have mentioned in the first interview, my father served in World War II. He fought in the Pacific and so forth. And obviously, as you know, I have a pretty strong relationship with the San Diego Military Advisory Council, SDMAC, that you guys know intimately for that reason. And if there's any perfect city, brilliant on you guys' part, that should host this, I'm a little prejudiced, worldwide, it should be San Diego, the largest military port, of course, in San Diego, in the United States, with the Navy and the Marine Corps and Coast Guard and smattering of Army and Air Force as well. And so this is just an absolute, a perfect thing for it. What actually goes on in the Invictus Games? Are they literally games? Are there athletic events? Is it everything in between?
Yeah, it's very much like if you saw the Olympics and then you saw the Paralympics.
Yes, right.
So it's the same sort of thing as the Paralympics. They have their core sports. They have wheelchair rugby and wheelchair basketball, seated volleyball, archery, powerlifting, rowing, track and field, and swimming. San Diego have introduced 2 new sports. We've lent really heavily on the San Diego coastline, our beautiful ocean we've got here. Right. We've got adaptive surfing and we've got adaptive triathlon. Both very, very native to California and San Diego in particular. Yeah,
there's no question about it. Have some of the Invictus athletes also participated in the Olympics as well?
Yeah, they have. They have. It's there's been a progression. You're first at the DoD Warrior Games, and then if you get selected at the Warrior Games to be part of Team USA, you come along to the Invictus Games. And then the Invictus Games really it's not a professional event. They don't even call themselves athletes. They call themselves competitors.
Right.
But if you're really good, we've got a fantastic guy, a local guy called Anthony Pone, who's tremendous. I've been on a couple of television appearances with him. He's really charismatic and shows me up. It's really annoying when we're on with Anthony, I can tell you. But he's gone on to the Paralympics as well. He's a shot putter, and he's absolutely fabulous. So
how'd the site inspection visit go with the foundation last month?
Yeah, it was tremendous. I mean, you mentioned there earlier, San Diego shows really well. It was really difficult for us not to mess that up. We're going to have it at the convention center, and we're going to have the opening ceremony at Petco and the closing ceremony at the Rady Shell and all that.
Right.
But we took him to the Navy SEAL Museum, and then we took him to the Navy SEAL Gym. We took him on to the USS Midway. We took him to the VA hospital. We took him over to Coronado. They went to the I-Bar 2 days after the astronauts had been there. They met so many people here that are just interwoven in the fabric of San Diego and the military community. I mean, they were so impressed.
Yeah, and how many people make this decision? Is it a small group that makes the decision?
Yeah, there's all very secret. So, unfortunately, we can't turn up with suitcases full of cash. We don't know who to give the cash to.
Right,
we can't do the Olympics or the FIFA sort of thing. But,
exactly.
There's a 10-person panel that we're going to present in front of next month.
And you have no idea who they are.
No, I don't even know. I don't even think it's the 4 people that came to visit us. I think they're going to send their recommendations.
Yeah, and that's probably the way to do it. And all this, it keeps it pure. And
absolutely.
In this area, and again, you had mentioned some pretty iconic places in San Diego. I imagine you met with our good friend Beef Drexler, and Beef is a piece of work, and I love him. He's been on the show before. He's going to be coming back on our military show, Navy SEAL Museum. Yeah.
Beef was unbelievable. It was the day before he went on for, I think, his 7th sort of body part replacement. This time it was a hip. I mean, he's just laid it all on the line for his country.
He has.
We knew we weren't going to be able to get him because the day we were scheduled to go to the SEAL Museum, he wasn't there. So I had him come to a breakfast.
Right.
And he spoke so eloquently and passionately about San Diego. It was fantastic. He's been a great ambassador for us.
Right. Talk about the relationship you've got with the USS Midway Museum and Terry Kraft.
Yeah, Terry's great.
Yes, he is.
We took them to the Midway Museum. I'll just back up a little bit.
Please.
We'd just been for lunch on the Admiral's barge. So Admiral Jarrett took us out around San Diego Harbor.
The Navy Mirror.
It was fantastic, actually. A real powerful demonstration. I mean, he started off sort of saying, he's in charge of 11 military installations up and down. But 3 of them we saw on this 80-minute harbor tour. It was fantastic. So we came off that, and if you can imagine, you get off at Broadway Pier. You then walk past what they're building there, Freedom Park. They're just building.
They are.
And then onto the Midway. So you're just setting the scene already that San Diego is so fully engaged with veteran life and veteran community.
Right.
So the idea is that we're going to have the welcome party on the flight deck of the Midway.
Yeah.
And it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and especially if they come flown in by Tom Cruise's helicopter like he did.
We're going to try.
Yeah. In that aspect, we're talking to Andy Solar. He's the co-chair of the Invictus Games San Diego 2029. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, nation's longest-running community podcast. We are now in our 20th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 60-plus years of just doing great things for folks in San Diego County. And that brings me up to listen, I'm preaching to the congregation, of course, on this. We have so many organizations like Mission Fed, and from north to south to east to west, that are absolutely laser beamed in supporting what we should be doing in San Diego. I can't imagine there's not going to be too many great companies that are behind you shoulder to shoulder, and you need resources, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. We do need resources as well. One of the things that happens with when a US entity puts a bid in is they don't get the federal government money.
Right.
South Korea have got money from their government. Denmark have got money from their government. FIFA World Cup didn't get money. The Olympics didn't get money. They get money afterwards. They once the games are won, you'll get a certain amount of money, but it tends to be more in kind. Money for infrastructure, for security, for immigration, that type of stuff.
Right.
Hard cash, you go to corporate America. And corporate America have always, always, always delivered on major events, and I don't think that the Invictus Games will be any different.
No, I think it's... So what are next steps between now and then when you make the presentation?
Okay, so we've got a final presentation in London in June. We've sent our bid book off. I think the total number of pages was 130-page bid book has just gone to London.
Yeah, it probably was narrowed down from 40,000
right.
pages.
Yeah. There was a real struggle to fit everything in. Let me tell you.
100%.
So now we're working on a presentation. We've got to make a 45-minute sort of presentation. You'll be delighted by this. We've got SDSU have very kindly given us some resources. We've got their offices. They've loaned us a couple of their people.
Nice.
That are really, really talented ladies that are helping us, and they're putting together a top-notch PowerPoint presentation. It'll be a 45-minute PowerPoint presentation, 45-minute Q&A sort of session, and then we have dinner with our rivals. It's a big party atmosphere. Everybody really is there for the mission and the wounded, injured, and sick. So that there aren't any losers in this whole thing.
Right.
And then July they'll make the announcement that hopefully San Diego have won it.
So when they make that announcement in July of 2026, okay, whether we're going to get this, and when are the events in 2029? Are they in the summer as well?
No, actually, they're in November 2029.
Really?
Now
is there a reason? Are they always in November?
No, you can have them any time you want.
Yeah.
The reason they're in November of 2029 is last year when we went to the San Diego Convention Center, 4 years out was the only week in 2029 they had.
Wow.
I mean, we're a military destination, but we're also a tourism destination as well. Don't forget, and everybody wants to come here for a conference and a convention. So the only time we could do was November 2029, and actually, it's worked out in our favor. Now we get to showcase Thanksgiving to the world because the rest of the world doesn't see Thanksgiving.
No, there's no question about this. When we come back from break, we're going to continue the conversation with Andy Solar. He is the co-chair of the Invictus Games San Diego 2029. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We'll be right back after this short message.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. So honored to have back in the studio with us today Andy Solar. He is the co-chair of the Invictus Games San Diego 2029. So let me ask you this. How you've been involved in Invictus Games San Diego 2029 since when?
It's been a year and a half now.
Right. And so how did you get to this point? Did you have to apply for it? Did they say, no, Andy is our man? Is it because of your roots back to, across the pond, as they say? How'd you get this?
I wish someone would say Andy's their man. No, it was my co-chair, Fran, to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
And I would recommend that everybody watches it. There's a Netflix show called Heart of Invictus, which Prince Harry, and it is so awe-inspiring. If you ever have a chance to watch it, I would.
Right.
Fran saw that a couple of Christmases ago, and she absolutely fell in love with it. And she said, why can't we have it in San Diego? And we're both on the board of the British American Business Council of San Diego, as you know.
Right.
And that council's mission is to foster transatlantic trade. And so we kind of worked a little bit. So Fran fired off an email. And they said, yeah, sure, come up to Vancouver. And we went up to Vancouver and met with the folks in Vancouver. And they said, well, send in a expression of interest letter. So we thought, well, you know what, we're going to go big on this. So we not only did we do an expression of interest letter, we had our friends down at Sports San Diego produce a video for us. We then sent a former Navy SEAL and a former British intelligence officer to London to hand deliver this thing. And they came back and said, right, you've made the long list. And then at that stage, there were 6 cities sort of in it.
Right.
And that got pared down to 3 in November. And now we're fighting out to see who's going to win.
But how many people work with you and your colleagues?
No, it's myself and Fran full time.
Right.
But we've got a steering committee with 40 different people on it, including Beef, as you mentioned. SD Mac have been very involved. The San Diego
is Mark involved? Neville involved with Sports San Diego, or
no, he's not involved yet because they do something slightly different because it's more than just sport.
Okay, right.
Sport is the sort of it's very intrinsic to it, and it's recovery through sport.
Sure.
But there's a lot more to it than sport. There's a wellness aspect to it. There's a legacy portion to it.
So David is involved. David Boone is on.
David's been really helpful. So is Ron Stark.
I love Ron.
Everybody loves Ron.
Frequent guest on the show.
Yeah.
All these guys.
And then we've had enormous help from the sports guys. Russ Thompson at San Diego Sport, and of course Johnny, who you were just with at the Padres as well.
Exactly.
Everybody, and the San Diego Mayor's office have been really supportive. Tourism, hotels. There's hundreds of charities in San Diego, as you know.
So moving forward, getting ready for the June presentation, all right, which is right down the road over here. Is there things you need from the community between now and then, or we're just going to have to wait and see how the presentation goes?
we're just going to have to wait and see how it goes. To be very honest.
Okay, so now it's they make the decision in June, or is it July?
No, in July.
Okay, so July now they've made the position, and they've said thanks to Andy and Fran, and it's coming to San Diego, and then we have a statue for you at Freedom Park.
That's right. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Willis said we have to move over the 2 folks that are kissing right in the
right. There you go.
Right. Exactly. But once that happens, okay, and I know you folks are working on hiring a CEO. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's where Fran is right now. So that's why she couldn't join me. She's currently interviewing for CEOs. Yeah. This was always going to be a transition from the bid committee, which is the bid committee that Fran and I lead,
right,
to the local organising committee, and that'll be a full structure with a CEO, a CFO, COO.
Right, but wouldn't some of the bid committee be on that?
Absolutely. They've stressed they want continuity.
100%.
So Fran and I will have a position,
good,
somewhere there, just to make sure that the legacy portion and what we've been in contact with the foundation every month for the last year and a half. So we know what they want. We know what they want to see out of San Diego. So we're going to maintain that dream and that vision and that legacy piece. But we do need some professional sort of guys here. We've interviewed a lot of different people, and we're very close to announcing who we've got.
Well, that's very, very exciting. Maybe you can break it on our podcast over here.
We certainly will. We're gonna book a podcast for just after the announcement.
Okay, very, very good. Well, you just tell me when, and we'll come running with you on that.
Thank you very much.
On that. And again, I think the main thing that our listeners can do, again, we've been doing this for 20 years, is look it up. What was that documentary you said that you first saw, or someone saw?
Yeah, Fran saw it. Heart of Invictus.
Heart of Invictus.
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
And it's one of those tearjerkers, sort of.
How much does Prince Harry stay involved in this, or does he not stay involved?
He's very involved in it.
Okay,
he's very, very involved with it, and he's actually our ace in the hole. To be very honest with you, we're not allowed to talk to him right now.
Of course,
but he's only 3 hours up the road.
Right,
we know that if San Diego gets selected, he can do so much more with San Diego than he can with South Korea and Denmark, just because of where he is.
Right.
He'll be very involved. Watch for him to be down here a lot should San Diego
get and I know, Andy, of course, knowing you and the relationship we've established over here, the very first thing he's going to be on is Drew Schlosberg's podcast.
Oh,
right?
He'll undoubtedly.
Undoubtedly. He'll listen to me for 1 minute, and that would be it. And then, of course, we ruin all relations between him and stuff.
He probably heard the first one. He's probably dying to come on.
Well, listen, you're very, very kind. I enjoyed having you and Fran on. We cannot support this enough in this area, and I think it's a wait and see where we are. And then I know it's going to be positive vibes going to go to you, and I can't wait to send me a text. I'll probably be number 14,000 on the list, but 14,000, I'll take it. That's better than 14,001. When you guys get this, I think it's phenomenal. Any final comments, Andy?
No, I just want to thank you for your support, Drew. One of the things that they mentioned in writing was our interaction with the media and how very pleased they were with our social media, our broadcast media, and how good we are at getting that out. And that is in no small point to what you did for us back in December.
Well, it's my honor, and listen, we're going to shout this one out just as much as well, and blow it out as much as we can, and we're going to look forward to July. Andy, it's always a pleasure to chat with you. We're looking forward to many more down the road. Hi to Fran for me, and wishing you nothing but the greatest success moving forward.
Thank you, Drew. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Andy Solar. He is the co-chair of the Invictus Games San Diego 2029. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, nation's longest-running community podcast in our 20th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 60 years of doing great things for people in San Diego County. And to our audience, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.